Hey there, it's Lucas here. I recently had some thoughts about teaching and learning and life and the answers to questions we seek. And I wrote some notes down. I think they turned out okay, and I would like to read them to you and then discuss them a little bit more. I cannot teach you, but you can be taught and learn if you're open to it. There are no teachers. Teaching is predicated on the fact that there is one person in possession of all the answers. But to everything, there are far more perspectives than one person could know and pass on. Teaching and guiding is the thought that the solution is somewhere out there. It's complete, absolute, certain, can be simply explained. We rely on others instead of our own perception. Not even talking about the internal compass or finding who you are, even though there's a place for that too. I'm talking about the ever-evolving perception that shapes who you are moment to moment. The idea of a spiritual or any form of guide is that a person can always tell you where to go or what to do. But it's not like that. No man has all the answers. That would only be possible to God. We can just share what we learned, and you can make of it whatever you deem necessary or worthy. We can help each other find some orientation. I'm here to share my perspective, and I hope it's something helpful for you too. So yeah, this is what my thoughts were, and I titled them Life Defies Simple Answers. And I really think it's like this. Maybe I would rephrase it that there are teachers in certain subjects. I don't think anymore that there's like no one that can teach you anything, because in some form, shape or form, some people are closer to certain truths than others, but much of what we know is still very perspective based. It depends on what you're looking for or where you're looking from, where you're thinking from on this perspective. And I think, like I said, to everything there are far more perspectives than one person could know and pass on. We can't wrap our mind around so many different perspectives on a single topic that we can pass it on to someone completely. On every single subject there are so many different thoughts. I mean, I think that's one reason why we have science and the scientific method. We just progress in different topics that are important to us, that we recognize as important in incremental steps. And we tell the people that are pushing it forward to orient themselves on what is already known. But even then, I think you know yourself that some fundamental laws of physics and of math and other stuff sometimes get overthrown because someone just finds out it's not actually fundamentally correct, or it's not the whole truth, it's not complete. There are certain cases in which this does apply and certain cases in which it doesn't apply. So to me, knowledge overall is often more a tool than it is like a fact or something like this. There are different facts, like we're comparing different facts to each other. And in the end, it's a lot about perspective and where you currently stand, where you currently develop, and what you want to use it for. Like if you want to solve a simple math equation, then you probably don't need all too complex tools. But if you want to prove gravity or prove some complex formula, then probably you will need some more tools. For instance, to calculate how to throw a ball in physics, simple Newton laws are enough. But we recognize that if you want to calculate how planets stick together and work in solar systems and stuff like this, there's something we don't quite fully grasp yet. Scientists try to prove the existence of dark matter or something like this to show how those stuff or how those planets are still able to stick together, because gravity as a force is not enough to keep them in place, basically. That's how I understand it. Maybe I'm incorrect, so correct me if you know more about this. I would like to learn about this. I just don't have the time to dig deep into this type of stuff. It's been a while since I studied, like a year. But yeah, if you know more about this, if you're an expert on this topic, please let me know. So we always have moment-to-moment perceptions, and we have an image of ourselves that also evolves moment to moment. We think of it as identity. I think we call it identity usually, but this is what we mean. I think if we talk about identity, it's not what other people think of us. That's our identity. And it's not even who we are, because who we are constantly changes. And what we usually mean when we talk about identity is what we identify with in ourselves. I think I talked about it somewhere already, but I think it's worth repeating that the parts of you that you think you are your identity. So if I like to play sports, for instance, I play volleyball, I might make this my identity, and I think, okay, I'm a guy that likes to play volleyball. But at the same time, I like to drive skateboard or ride my bike, or I don't know, maybe do parkour or something like this. But while the last couple of weeks I was playing volleyball and not skating, not doing parkour, my identity shifted in this way that I identify with volleyball more than I identify with skating or parkour. So that's what identity basically is, our current identification with parts of ourselves. And some are more fundamental, they're less changing maybe, yeah, like our genetics, our biology, it's not changing that much over the course of time. And some things are very rapidly changing, like maybe our interest or sometimes even our beliefs. We never have the complete image of ourselves, of anything outside of us. We always have just one or a couple of perspectives on a topic if we can wrap our mind around it. And I think if a being, let's say, could perfectly judge every corner, every perspective on a topic, then this being would be a god, basically. So it's perfect vision, omni knowledge, so to speak. But like we have to get around life somehow. So we do the best of it. We share what we know, share what we learned. Some of us learn a little quicker than others, and that's okay. Some of us learn stuff that isn't relevant. Some of us learn stuff that is relevant to others. I can judge if what I know or what I learned has any relevance to you. It's just what I liked to explore. So here I am sharing what I learned about life, about perspectives on life, about psychology. And maybe this helps you find some orientation in life. Maybe this helps you see that no perspective on life is completely universal, I would say. Although I believe there's an absolute truth somewhere, but I don't think that humans can necessarily judge if it's the whole truth or not. Yeah, so I'm here to share my perspective on it, and I hope you will share yours too in the comments or maybe in my Discord community. Feel free to join. I will invite you through a link down in the comments, or you can write me to ask for a link or to share your perspective on stuff, to discuss topics like this with me. Feel free to reach out. I would gladly talk to you about this. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next video and have a nice day. Bye.